is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Southwest.
Texas Rangers manager Jeff Bannister likes to play the hand that is dealt him. He played a returning ace last Saturday when Yu Darvish made his long-anticipated debut. And tonight, he gets to play another ace. Left-hander Cole Hamels tries to stretch his personal win total to 6, and the Rangers' winning streak to 5. Your Texas Rangers go for the sweep in Cleveland, and it's next on Fox Sports Southwest. High-speed internet from AT&T. Cleveland, Ohio. A lot of traffic moving quickly. So trying to get in here for the finale of this 3-game series, the Rangers and the Indians, as the Rangers go for the sweep tonight. Welcome into the booth, everybody. Dave Raymond alongside Tom Grieve as we get you all set for this one tonight. And the good news for the Rangers, they've won the first 2. They've already won this series. But, Tom, the exciting thing is they can go for the sweep tonight with their current pseudo-ace in Cole Hamels.
Yeah, that's a great situation to be in, Dave. Tomorrow's an off day. You'd love to win this night game, have a great trip home. Tomorrow's an off day. Cole Hamels, since he's been a Ranger, has gone 12-2. He's been everything they wanted when they made the trade last year. He finally lost a game in his last start, but on the road this year, he's been almost untouchable. He's only had 4 starts on the road. This will be his 5th. But in those 4 starts, he's 3-0 with a 1.63 ERA, a great walk-to-strikeout ratio. Pitching against a pretty good Cleveland team. They've been hot. The Rangers have shut them down in the first 2 games. Cole will try to do it tonight.
The Rangers have been putting up some pretty good run support in these games as well. 9 runs in the opener Monday, 7 yesterday on their way to the 2 wins. Cole Hamels will be hoping for some of that as well tonight. We're all set to go. We'll have more on our pregame show coming up in just a moment. Texas Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today for incredible deals and see why Ford is the best in Texas. By AT&T high-speed internet. Get a deal worth talking about. Get high-speed internet from AT&T. And by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Beautiful weather again in Cleveland. Final game of this three-game series as the Rangers go for the sweep. We'll have the starting lineups in the first pitch in just a moment. From Progressive Field in Cleveland. Final game in this three-game series. Rangers coming in at a season-high 10 games over 500 at 31-21 and still leading the West. A half-game advantage right now over the Seattle Mariners. Cleveland Indians, meanwhile, 26-24. They have slipped a tad in the Central, now in third place, 2.5 games back. As we get ready for this one tonight, we talked about Cole Hamels in the open. Trevor Bauer, an interesting character who will have the start for the Cleveland Indians, and he seems to be a conversation point no matter where he has pitched. A very highly touted collegiate pitcher at UCLA, and you're looking at his pregame routine. Long toss from 350 plus feet, which is a standard for him, and it's just a part of his unique warm-up program every game. Tag, it's certainly a different one.
Well, he has his own program, and you'll see pitchers throw long toss before they pitch. You won't see him go foul line to foul line like that. That's some kind of arm that he's got. But he's had the reputation of always being a guy that does it his way, and you know, he's in the big leagues throwing well, so his way must be okay.
Can't argue with that. He takes the field along with his teammates. He'll continue his warm-ups, and we will take a look at the Rangers starting lineup presented by Southwest Airlines. Jurickson Profar continues to do a great job at the top of the order at second base. Ian Desmond, the Rangers player of the month in center field. Then it's Prince Fielder, Adrian Beltre, and Nomar Mazara in right. Mitch Moreland at first base will bat sixth. Elvis Andrus, the shortstop, is seventh. Ryan Rule gets the start in left field tonight, and Bobby Wilson back behind the plate, rounding things out for the Rangers.
Trevor Bauer is on the mound. He was the third pick in the draft back in 2011 by Arizona. And then, in a kind of an unusual situation, 2 years later, he was traded in a big three-way trade to the Indians. Last year, he was in their rotation all season long. He had a solid year. He was 11-12. This year, he started the season off in the bullpen. He had 6 outings in the bullpen. He's had 6 starts overall. His record is 3-2, solid ERA, almost a strikeout per inning. Opponents hitting about 260 against him. He's got a good fastball, good assortment of off-speed pitches. Last year, his main problem was control. He led the league in walks. This year, his walks are a little high, not quite the same rate as last year, but still high enough to where that's something I'm sure he'd like to be concerned about. Try to lower it a little bit.
Yeah, and that is one of the bits of the scouting report today for Rangers hitters. There's going to be an edict to try and wait him out a little bit, make him throw some strikes, because he has struggled with that at times in his career. So he's all set to go. Profar, who has hit in every game since being called up, a 5-game hitting streak going, and has oftentimes delivered that hit right out of the gate in the first inning. So he's done an outstanding job of setting the table and getting this offense going. Bauer, his warm-up routine, it's a long one, and now he's ready to go and delivers high with ball 1. He will throw hard. He is at times tinkered with reportedly upwards of, and this is a little bit of a new one to me, Tag, 19 different pitches, some of which they suspect he hasn't been at. One of them he calls the bird. It's a split finger with the middle finger pulled off the ball.
Well,
I mean, he's tried just about everything.
I'll give the guy credit. If he can identify 19 different pitches and remember what they all are, he's got a pretty good memory. I'll give him credit for that.
Profar rips one into right field, a base hit to start things tonight. Got a good start out of the box, and he'll have a double.
They call that one his extra base pitch. Well, you know, I don't know him from the Man in the Moon, but if you read clips about him, he comes across as a little bit eccentric, and nothing wrong with that. You don't have to fit the mold, so to speak, although when you don't fit the mold, then you have to enjoy some success. Otherwise, people are going to be taking pot shots at you. But one thing he's got going for him is he's got a great arm. And he's pretty much on record as saying, I'm going to do it my way.
Yeah, and I think at some level you have to admire a guy who
I don't have a problem with
is
him.
Convicted.
I'm not the pitching coach. I'm not the general manager or the manager. But personally, I kind of like it when the guy's that way.
Bouncer to the other side of the diamond. Desmond retired on the 4-3 putout, but he moves Profar to third base. Take a look at the Indians defense today behind Bauer, and there was one switch at the beginning of the game. Santana at first base today instead of Mike Napoli. KIPNIS with him on the right side. Uribe and Lindor on the left side. Ramirez, Davis, Chisenhall in the outfield, and now the former Ranger Chris Jimenez doing the catching tonight for Bauer. We just got note of that lineup change a moment ago. Prince Fielder steps in.
You know, after the game yesterday, Ian Desmond made a point of saying one of the things he liked about the game was Prince Fielder's willingness to give himself up, pull the ball on the ground to get a runner from second to third with no outs. And in that at bat, you saw Ian Desmond do the exact same thing, noticeably trying to hit the ball on the ground to the right side. And the one thing that shines through from the clubhouse to the fans, to the booth, to the sports writers, is the fact that every guy on the team is so geared into winning and not individual statistics. And I'm not going to say that that's rare, but when you have it the way that the Rangers have it right now, you've kind of struck gold with chemistry and attitude. Obviously, Jeff Bannister and the coaching staff has a lot to do with that. But you see very few instances where it looks like any Ranger player has done something on the field for himself and not for the good of his team. Obviously, you can do something to help yourself, but I think it's all geared toward the good of the team, and it's a great situation to be in.
Pop-up by Fielder into left field, and that one a tough play, but a long run for Ramirez. He'll make the play. Tagging at third is Profar, and he scores. So Fielder gets the sac fly, and the Rangers get the first run of the game.
Well, that's kind of sneaking up on you right there. That's a great call by Spike Owen, the third base coach. The left fielder is really concentrating on catching that ball. He's near the tarp. He's on the run. He doesn't get his feet set. He throws like a shortstop fielding a ball he's charging. All it takes is that throw to be off a little bit, and you sneak a run in there. So that's nice baseball right there. A double to start the game. The player of the month of May giving himself up to hit the ball to the right side. An appeal at third base for naught. And then Prince Fielder, whose average is down, but in those situations seems to come through and get the RBI. Wasn't a 400-foot fly ball, but it was far enough. Good coaching to send Profar, and the Rangers go out on top 1-0. It's fun to watch that kind of an exchange for three batters.
It really is. You can't draw it up a whole lot better than that.
No.
And especially going back to the point you were making about Desmond's observation last night, and then doing the same thing himself.
First time up, he gets the same chance.
And you know, sometimes you do that and it doesn't really yield anything in terms of runs scored. But isn't it perfect that it turns around that not only do they score the run, but the guy he had praised from the night before picks up an RBI for his fly ball. So
yeah, and you know, when Ian went to the plate with a man on second and nobody out, that's what he's thinking. All right, Prince Fielder did it last night. I've got to get this guy over to third base. First pitch, he did it.
1-2 count to Beltre, and that one just a smidge off the outside. Evens it at 2-2.
Yeah, Bauer won't endear himself to the umpire after that. Borderline pitch, doesn't get the call. Kind of turned his back on the umpire as if to say, come on, man. The umpire doesn't mind if you don't like the call, but they generally don't like it when everyone in the park knows what you're doing. Don't like to be shown up like that.
Trip Gibson, our plate umpire tonight. The 2-2. Beltre bounces it up the middle, skips off the bag. Nice play by KIPNIS to stay with it, and it gets Beltre in the end. But the Rangers, with some team baseball, scratch out a run in the top of the first. For the Rangers, they get a run at the top of the first. Now the Indians coming to the plate. Take a look at their lineup. Rajai Davis in that leadoff spot in center field. Jason Kipnis at second. Francisco Lindor, fantastic shortstop, bats third. Then it's Napoli, the DH, Santana at first base, and Jose Ramirez at left. Juan Uribe, Lonnie Chisenhall, and then Chris Jimenez, the catcher, rounding it out. Against Cole Hamels. Left-hander, 5-1 for the year, and he starts Davis off with a fastball for strike one. Davis going right after the next pitch and lost it out there to Desmond. One away.
Yeah, Cole's numbers on the season. This will be his 11th start. He missed one start, skipped a start, lost his last game through 98 pitches in that game, ended up giving up 5 earned runs. Solid ERA for the season. Walk totals are down. It's more than a strikeout per inning. I think the one thing you would look at when you notice Cole's line is the fact that in his last 4 starts he's given up 8 home runs. He's been a little bit prone to the home run, but overall off to an excellent start.
Delivers low to Kipnis. Now, a guy who has to this point of the season been the ace of the Rangers staff. Now with Darvish back, it takes maybe just a little bit of pressure off Hamels, but doesn't take anything away from his ability to go deep in a game, dominate an opposing team, and that's what Jeff Bannister and Doug Brocail would love to see tonight. They'd like to see that bullpen maybe get a little rest. And there's strike one to Kipnis. 7 homers in the early going for Kipnis, so he's flashed a little power. The average still hovering well below 270, however, but he'll walk to provide the first base runner of the evening for the Indians. Taking a look at the defense behind Hamels today, delivered to you by DeMontron RV. Ryan Rua getting the start in left field. Ian Desmond in center. Nomar Mazara in right. Beltre and Andrus on the left side of the infield per usual. Jurickson Profar again at second with Moreland at first. And Bobby Wilson back behind the plate tonight with Hamels. Kipnis on, and Lindor takes strike one.
You're talking about the Ranger rotation getting Darvish back. The Ranger rotation has been terrific. Their ERA is .338. That's the lowest ERA in the American League for a starting staff. It's the best ERA a Texas starting staff has had through 52 games since 1976. The starters have been terrific, and you know, you can call whichever one you want to call an ace, but Kobe Lewis certainly has pitched like an ace. He's 5-0 with a .309 ERA. Martin Perez's ERA is .312. The Rangers have a lot of healthy competition in their rotation when you try to pick who's been the best pitcher so far.
There's Lewis, who yesterday was outstanding. 6 shutout innings, allowed just 2 hits. 2-1 pitch, and Lindor lifts it out into right field. Mazara is there. 2 gone. Take a look at our Kubota power stats, and more or less echoes what you were just making. Look at that, 338 earned run average, best in the league. Go back to the bicentennial 1976. Last time a Rangers team was in that kind of rarefied air.
Derek Holland has the highest ERA among the starters, but most of his starts, the last 4 or 5 starts, have been getting better and better.
Well, Holland's case, he had that one outing in Toronto.
Yeah,
he gave up like 11 runs.
11 runs. That skews his ERA. That's true.
Especially this time of year when you just haven't had as many starts to mask it. That one clubbed by Napoli and out of here to left field. A 2-run shot by the Indians' designated hitter, and they've jumped in front.
The Napoli doesn't hit for average. .229 coming into the game. But if you make a mistake with your fastball and get it down and out over the plate, that's what can happen. Cole's trying to throw this ball in, but it doesn't get maybe far enough in lower part of the strike zone. It's a strike. But maybe he was trying to throw that pitch 4 or 5 more inches in, but still, it wasn't a terrible pitch. It was down and right on the inside corner of the strike zone. And sometimes the way Napoli hit that, it looked like it was right down the middle. Sometimes you just give credit to the hitter. Got a pitch and hit it.
1-0 now to Santana.
Already doing an interview.
Yeah, no, I hit it out. No, over the fence. 1-1. And that turned foul for strike 2. Santana and Napoli swapped positions, not necessarily in the order. They stay 4 and 5, but Santana was to be the designated hitter tonight, and Napoli was to play first. That switched right before the game. A little comebacker. Snared by HAMELS, and will win the inning. But Napoli, with one big swing, has given the Indians their first lead of this 3-game series. Take advantage of discounted tickets and spend the afternoon with the biggest Rangers fan in the family, Mom. All mothers in attendance are invited to run the bases following the conclusion of the Sunday, June 5th game against the Mariners. If you'd like to purchase tickets, go to TexasRangers.com/family-days. Great idea. Second inning here. Cleveland, for the first time that we've been here in the last 3 days, they lead 2-1. As Bauer deals with Nomar Mazara. Big breaking ball in there for a strike, and it's quickly 0-2.
The Ranger pitchers have done a pretty good job of holding the Indians down in the first 2 games of the series. In the month of May, they had the 3rd most runs in the league. Scored 147 runs in the month of May, so they've been scoring pretty well. And one of the main reasons they've been scoring has been Napoli. Leads them in home runs and RBIs in the top 10 in the American League in both categories.
Mazara went around on that check swing. First strikeout victim of the night for Trevor Bauer.
Big curveball, straight downward action to it. Bounce looked like in front of home plate.
1 away, and here comes Mitch Moreland. That means a shift for the Indians as infielders quickly move into position. Lindor, the shortstop, overplaying a traditional second base, and KIPNIS out in short right field. Bauer, something off speed for strike 1 to Moreland. Rangers with high hopes that a couple of the left-handed hitters can really get things going. Moreland chief among them, 4 for his last 42. He and Prince Fielder, the guys who draw the most attention on a day-to-day basis. Moreland pops this one up into left field. Third baseman Uribe out on the grass, and there are 2 gone. What's remarkable, Tag, is that at 31 and 21, here the Rangers are 10 games over 500, first place in the division, and only a game back of the Red Sox for the best record in the American League. Bullpen has been surprisingly bad compared to what the expectations were going into the season. And Fielder hasn't really hit yet. Moreland hasn't really hit yet. They've had to work through some injuries at catcher. Shin-Soo Choo has missed a lot of time. Rougned Odor serving a 7-game suspension. I think while things are in great shape at the moment, you could see why people would be even more optimistic about what may yet be to come.
Yeah, and why are the Rangers 10 games over? We just talked about the starting pitching. That's one of the main reasons why. They've had 5 or 6 starters throwing the ball exceptionally well. And even though the bullpen as a whole has not lived up to expectations, several guys at the end of the bullpen have been throwing especially well, especially Diekman and Dyson have been strong all season long. But I think you're right, Dave, when you look at Darvish back in the rotation now, the rotation should get even stronger. Eventually, in addition to the 4 guys pitching well out of the bullpen, other guys will come on and the bullpen will get better. The offense has been solid, but still has room for improvement. And the areas where it has room for improvement are not things where you're just kind of flipping a coin and hoping. They're guys that have had a track record and have done it before. So I think the team's 10 games over 500. You feel great about that. And you also feel really good about where they're headed.
Andrews takes strike 3 call, doing a 1-2-3 inning for Trevor Bauer. It's 2-1 Cleveland. Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today for incredible deals and see why Ford is the best in Texas. Bottom of the 2nd inning tonight in Cleveland. Jose Ramirez, Juan Uribe, and then Lonnie Chisenhall for the Indians, leading 2-1. Hamels 1-0. Foul off. Mike Napoli, a 2-run homer for the Indians in the 1st inning, and that has gotten them started tonight. Indians still 2 games over 500 at 26 and 24, and hopes were quite high here, let's say about a week ago. Bouncer over to first. Moreland, good feed to Hamels, And there's one away. But they have gone into a bit of a scuffle here lately. And bad news today for them. We'll get to that in a moment. Fox Sports Support is proud to team up with Positive Coaching Alliance and its mission to develop better athletes, better people by working to provide all youth and high school athletes a positive, character-building sports experience. Go to foxsportsupports.com to learn more. Baseball fans might remember Marlon Byrd once saying that you, quote, have to be an idiot to test positive for PEDs. Marlon Byrd did so for the second time today.
Well, if you're an idiot, if you test positive for it once, what are you if you test positive for it twice?
Well, you're Marlon Byrd, and you're suspended for a year. And based on some of the comments today, it sounds as if he may just take it to the house.
Yeah, why not? He's made $50 million. He's banked his money. Just spare me the I have no idea how it got in my system line. He knows how it got in his system. He put it there. Yeah, it's probably not a coincidence that through age 30, he'd played 7 years in the big leagues and hit 40 home runs.
A roller foul off the bat of Uribe.
And then at ages something like 35, 36, 37, 34, 35, 36, he hit 75 home runs. You know, it just doesn't pass the eye test.
Well, it didn't pass several other tests either. And he is apparently going to call it good after this 160.
He got exactly what he deserved. He should have gotten it in the middle of a $10 million a year season and not $1 million season. Would have cost him some money. As it is, it doesn't cost him anything. He's at the end of his career. He's made his money, and he goes home laughing all the way to the bank.
Uribe flies out, 2 away. Bring up Lonnie Chisenhall. Well, and no matter how you slice it, that is not good news for the Indians, because he had been productive in this early part of the season.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy that they needed, a veteran guy that's playing solid baseball, has a little bit of power. And pretty obvious how he has that kind of power. He didn't used to have it.
They're dealing with currently the injury to Michael Brantley, their superstar left fielder, who is out for an undetermined amount of time. And I'd say right now, just talking to some of the coaching staff of the Indians, optimistically they would see him back after the All-Star break, but that's somewhat optimistic on Brantley. So you're already down your superstar outfielder, and then you lose Marlon Byrd. That doesn't help. Carlos Carrasco, their really good starting pitcher, had been injured recently. They're going to bring him back to start on Friday, apparently. Even though they haven't really stretched him out yet in rehab, he's just going to hop right back into it. His hamstring apparently feeling a whole lot better. But they've got some issues all of a sudden here in Cleveland, and added a big one to it today with the suspension / loss of Marlon Byrd for the year.
Well, it's a good opportunity for Lonnie Chisenhall, who's been swinging the bat pretty well. He's in there against a left-hander today. Byrd would have been playing had this not come about. But Lonnie Chisenhall's been swinging the bat pretty well. .340 in his last 16 games. So he's going to get a chance, looks like, unless they acquire someone else, he's going to get a good chance to play and see if he can make the best out of it.
Soft liner to second. Great smother by Profar, who hops up to make the play. Real nice defensive play by the Rangers second baseman, and we head to the third. post-game fireworks show will be this Friday, presented by Dairy Max. Fans using the online coupon code FIREWORKS can get upper reserve tickets to the Friday night Rangers-Mariners game for just $14. Go to TexasRangers.com and get your tickets today. Mariners in town over the weekend, and then the Houston Astros come calling on Monday. The next homestand as Ryan Rua steps in and watches ball one from Trevor Bauer. Right-hander rears back and leaves that one high. Rua coming in at 283. A native of Amherst, Ohio, about 30 miles to the west of us here in Cleveland. And Monday night he had a huge group here. Pass list of about 100 on hand. And got a double in his first at bat. First time he'd ever played in Cleveland.
The Ohio guys have done very well. Jared Hoying had a couple of hits, had an RBI in last night's game. He had a lot of people here. Derek Holland, pitched a nice game the other night. Good place to come home to.
No doubt. Rua bounces this one up the middle. Sliding stop by Lindor.
Look how quick he got up.
It was a pop-up slide.
Looked like he didn't even hit the ground. Looked like a base hit when he hit it. But Lindor has exceptional quickness. And when we show the replay, watch how fast he gets up off the ground. Boom. It's like he got up as fast as if he never went down in the first place. Pretty slick.
One down. Indeed, very nicely done. He did not have, Lindor last year did not have quite enough I guess games played to qualify for a Gold Glove. Now this year he will qualify, and Lindor may indeed win that honor as Bobby Wilson steps in with his .318 average. First appearance in this series for Wilson. Monday and Tuesday nights games caught by Brian Holiday. And it is 2-1. Rangers scratched out a run in the top of the first inning. Some excellent team baseball displayed by Ian Desmond, Prince Fielder. And then the Indians came right back in the bottom of the inning. Mike Napoli with a 2-run homer. That's how we've gotten to this point. 2-1 Indians. So Wilson has sat the last 3 games after playing 6 of the previous 8. And watches that one just off the corner. It's a full count. Even after the 3-day layoff, he'll go back to work on his 5-game hitting streak now. 5-game stretch over which he has 10 hits, and he has just drawn a walk. So Rangers have the potential tying run on here in the 3rd inning, but let's send it back to Dana Larson of the studio for a Chevy game break.
How did he get on base?
That is stunning right there.
How did he get on base?
Whoa. A double in the 13th inning for Matt Albers.
Wow.
All right. Jurickson Profar takes ball 1. I've known Matty for a long time, and an offensive threat he has never claimed to be. Let's just put it that way. But his first run scored. I'll tell you what, the White Sox were in need of some wind. They won yesterday, but it has really been a massive nosedive for the White Sox after their terrific start. They are hovering. Well, I guess they're now back to 4 games over 500.
Yeah, when they got off to that start, you'd listen to some of the shows during the day, and they'd be saying, what are the chances that the White Sox stay hot? And virtually everybody was saying, well, you know, I like their team. I like this about them. I like that about them. And, you know, maybe they will rebound and get right back where they were before. But they definitely have crashed down to earth.
I think there's a lot to like about that team. It'll just be a matter of really if that bullpen with guys like Matt Albers can sustain that run for the season. The 1-2 to Profar, and he lines that to the gap in right field. Wilson will turn second, and the Rangers have him cornered in the third inning. Well, Profar 2 for 2 tonight.
Yep, 2 well hit balls, 2 nice swings. He's swinging the bat very, very well.
So good setup now in the third inning for the Rangers, and it'll bring up Desmond, who brilliantly did his job in the first inning by grounding out to second base. Profar had doubled to open the game. Desmond simply wanted to move him to third, which was poetic after his comments following the game yesterday. Now up there in a spot where he could drive in one, maybe more. So he made the comments last night after the game about Prince Fielder. Desmond had just delivered a double after the Indians had come back to get within a run. It was in the 8th inning, and Desmond hit a double and scored a couple of runs and got the Rangers back to their 3-run lead. Fielder followed with the ground ball that advanced him to third. And when asked after the game what stood out to him about the team win, Desmond just went off on a nearly poetic soapbox speech about Prince Fielder giving himself up to advance him. It was fantastic, and it was, in a lot of ways, kind of the highlight of the evening. Not so much the moment that played out on the field, but the way that Desmond felt about it after the game. It touches so much about him. So I looked it up, Tom, and advancing a runner from second base with nobody out, Rangers have been successful 63% of the time this year.
That's pretty good.
Bouncer up the middle, and LINDOR right there to make the one out. Is throw to first not in time, and the hustle by Desmond ties the game because it allows Wilson to come in from third.
Now, it's a slowly hit ball, so you say right off the bat, well, they can't turn 2, and then you see the ball coming down right near second base. And it seems like, well, if he can tag the bag quickly, they have a chance even with Desmond running. But fortunately, it took LINDOR a little bit past the bag, and he had to stop and come back and touch it. And that little bit of footwork that he was required to do allowed Ian to beat it out at first base and pick up the run.
He gets an RBI. Rangers tie it up 2-2, and it brings up Prince Fielder. So that rate of advancing runners from second base, nobody out, that's the best in baseball.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know what the league average is or what's regarded as good, but that strikes me as being very good. And I would also think that that number is higher for teams who, as a team, embrace the team philosophy of going to bat and making things happen for the good of the team. I would think there are some teams where that feeling is not prevalent, where guys don't go up as concerned about moving a runner as they are about getting themselves a base hit. And we've already gone into what a great quality that is for the Rangers. So finding out that they're willing to do that is not a surprise, but you can be willing to do it. Still takes a little bit of skill to hit the ball on the right side when you want to in that situation. It's not a simple thing to do. Just because that's what the game dictates at that moment doesn't mean you're automatically going to be able to do it. It's like a man on third base in less than 2 outs. You know you want to hit a long fly ball, but sometimes it's not that easy. The pitcher doesn't let you do it.
Bauer been quite concerned with Desmond over at first. Finally offers to Fielder with a pitch up and away. They're very concerned. Desmond among the best in the league with 10 stolen bases in 11 attempts. So Bauer wants to keep him as tight to that bag as possible. One and one on Fielder, who drove in the first Rangers run with a sac fly back in the first inning. Prince happy to put May in the rearview mirror. This is the first day of June. Last 2 months have been the most difficult 2 months offensively in his big league career. He hits this ball high and deep right field. Chisenhall has room though and makes the catch.
Just missed it.
To win the inning. Rangers though scratch back for the run to tie it as we go to the bottom of the third. If you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with the all-new Fox Sports Go app. Download the app and take Fox Sports, Fox Sports Southwest, and Rangers baseball with you wherever you go. Fox Sports Go. Download it today as we head to the bottom of the third inning, 2-2. Chris Jimenez, the former Ranger, leading things off for Cleveland, and he takes strike one from Cole Hamels. Hamels working quickly. Jumps ahead of Jimenez 0-2. You see it in 13 games now with the Indians. Jimenez hitting .241, a couple of homers. Very popular Ranger. And a versatile guy. Doesn't have to be exclusively a catcher. He can play a little bit of first base if needed. And he'd tell you, he played a little third base too. Balls, 2 strikes on Jimenez, and then it's back to the top of the order for the Indians. He takes strike 3 and is the first strikeout victim of the night for Cole Hamels.
Cole dropped a big curveball in and got called strike 3. Right at the bottom of the strike zone. Nice pitch.
Not much to do with that one as now Davis steps in 0 for 1. Cole Hamels, there was an interesting debate or piece on Hamels at Fangraphs, and they do a really good job, very thoughtful analysis of players and trends and things they see. And the story was really about his use of the changeup, which when he came up with the Phillies, Hamels was immediately known as that guy with the great changeup, maybe the best in the National League, and he has used that pitch very effectively over the course of his career, but lately has used it a lot less than ever as he gets Davis to swing over the top of it. Count 1 and 2. Talking to Doug Brocail, his pitching coach, about that today, and Brocail said, no, I think we'd like to see him use it more, and suggests that we probably will see him use it more. But lately, Hamels has really favored his cutter. Pitch he picked up in Philadelphia right about 2010 and has developed and kind of employed it with increasing regularity year after year. Credits Cliff Lee with helping him master the pitch. But I think Doug Brocail's concern is, well, don't go to that cutter at the expense of your great changeup. That is still such a very effective pitch. 2-2. And Davis fights off another one. The suggestion was in the article that maybe Hamels, coming back from that groin injury, which had him skip a start, maybe there's something physically prohibiting him from using it and using it effectively. Well, that's not the case. In fact, the pitch has been actually a little more effective since that injury. Just hasn't used it as much, and it's just a matter of choice. And it's a full count now on Davis. Of course, I don't know, Tom, it seems to me like a pitcher might do well to every once in a while move to a little bit of an extreme here or there using certain pitches just to make sure that you aren't that predictable.
Well, I'm not sure exactly what goes into that, except there's a game plan before every game. You talk to the pitching coach, you talk to the catchers, you formulate a game plan on how to attack the hitters. But then ultimately it's up to the pitcher to throw the ball. The catcher suggests the pitch and the pitcher throws the ball. And I think when you've got a veteran who's been as successful as Cole, while he can be influenced and guided by a scouting report, he's still got to go out and pitch his own game and throw the pitches that he's comfortable with. And I don't think anyone knows better than he does how to utilize his changeup and his cutter and his fastball and the rest of his pitches. And with his experience and the success that he's had over the years, I guess my opinion would be I kind of defer to him. And if that's the way he thinks he can get hitters out, then that's good enough for me.
He gets Davis, and now strike one in there to Kipnis. Kipnis walked in the first inning ahead of the Mike Napoli home run.
I will say this about his changeup, though, Dave, and in the best games that he's pitched as a Ranger, in addition to quality pitches aside from his changeup, the changeup has been a big part of those really good games. So it's a key component in his repertoire for sure. And how much he uses it, I think, is determined by his feel and the way he thinks he can get hitters out that particular day in the best manner. And maybe some days he has a better feel for it than others. And it's probably a pitch that he doesn't want to throw if he doesn't feel like it's one of his best pitches on that particular day.
He gets
that
Kipnis.
Looks pretty good.
Yeah, that one works. A 1-2-3 third inning for Hamels, and we go to the fourth. Wish a happy birthday to Eleno Ornelas, the Spanish language broadcaster for the Rangers. Eleno just delivered a baseball between innings. And a little birthday gift for a guy who sees plenty of it. Adrian Beltre leading off the 4th inning. And Nomar Mazara and Mitch Moreland. Beltre rolled out to second in the 1st inning. Leads the team with 9 home runs. He and Mazara tied in that category. Low bridge. 2-1. Beltre working on a 6-game hitting streak. 375 in those 6 games. And it's 3-1. So Eleno was telling folks downstairs this is his 60th birthday, Tom. And the Japanese media heard that, closed in a little bit, and they said that's a very significant number in Japan.
Oh.
Full count now on Beltre.
So did they offer to take him out to dinner or buy him a beautiful present?
No.
No?
No, they just showed a little respect and moved on.
Nice.
Beltre draws the walk to start the 4th inning.
I mentioned that Bauer led the National League in walks last year. He had 79 walks in 176 innings. And his walk totals are a little bit high this year, not quite the same rate as they were last year. But the walk in the 3rd inning to Bobby Wilson was his first walk, and Bobby came around and scored a run. Now Adrian leads off the 4th with a walk. And many times that's what happens with a leadoff walk. He comes around to score.
And now Mazara and serves that one to the left side. Diving stop Lindor, and they'll get the force out at second.
Well, one thing's for sure, if you hit the ball in the hole, you better hit it hard, or Lindor is going to catch up with it and make a play on it. That ball wasn't hit especially hard, but it looked like it was hit far enough to Lindor's right that it might be a base hit. Not the case. Well, he appears, at least in these 3 games, to be as quick as any shortstop in the league. As far as first step quickness, the slide that he made and how quickly he bounced up, the dive that he just made and how quickly he bounced up and made a quick throw. Heard a lot about him, now getting a chance to see it firsthand. Pitchers appreciate that kind of defense.
He's made some real good ones tonight.
Well, they had a pretty good shortstop here for a long time in Omar Vizquel. I'm sure when they look at Lindor, they're hoping that he's every bit as good as Omar was. A chance to have maybe a little bit more power, although Omar over the years became a very good offensive player too, very good hitting.
So that's a pretty high standard.
Yep, he was one of the all-time guys that it was fun to watch play. He played with a flair that was just very enjoyable to watch.
One out here, Mazara at first base. Bauer very deliberate, and the 1-1 to Moreland. This one popped up into shallow center. Davis is there, and there are 2 gone. Here comes Elvis Andrus, who has had a lot of success in this ballpark, and a lot of career success against the Indians, no matter where they have played the games.
Pat Phelps from Arlington, Texas, is at the ball game tonight. Seen a few Ranger fans in attendance here in Cleveland. Pat's the first one that we've been able to identify, though. Glad you're here, Pat. Well, I think we hit the jackpot as far as the weather goes here. I don't think we've ever had a 3-game series in Cleveland where it was more beautiful than it was all 3 days. It was beautiful in the morning, all day long, and beautiful temperatures for the game. Mild breezes, temperatures in the 70s, just about perfect.
It's 72 degrees at game time tonight. As Andrews turns that foul for strike one. 73 here yesterday. They had a lot of rain up here for a while, but that has cleared out, and they've been enjoying gorgeous weather. And it's raining now back home, back in Texas, constantly. Rangers will have a day off tomorrow, and then open a 7-game homestand Friday evening against the Mariners. 1-1 to Elvis Andrus. So Andrus has played 30 games prior to tonight. This is 31st here at Progressive Field. He has hit safely in 29 of the 30 so far, to the tune of a .412 average. And he takes strike 2 from Bauer. And against the Indians, regardless of the location, a .372 average against them. Only Nomar Garciaparra in his career hit for a higher average against him. So Elvis, one of those guys that Indians fans well aware of when they're playing the Rangers. Two from Bauer, and he got Andrews swinging for the final out of the 4th inning. Rangers leave a man. We're still tied going to the bottom of the 4th. Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Mazda. In every car we make, you'll see why driving matters. Bottom of the 4th inning, Progressive Field, a 2-2 ball game. We'll see the heart of the Indians order here against Cole Hamels. Francisco Lindor, Mike Napoli, and Carlos Santana. And a comebacker gets by Hamels. Profar is there to gather it up. 1 away. Good start to the inning, and now it'll bring up Mike Napoli. Napoli hit the 2-run homer in the first inning. That's been the Cleveland offense tonight. And then before he could catch his breath, he was on the phone in the dugout. I've never seen that before. Who would he be talking to?
I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not aware of Mike's family situation. Maybe he just had a newborn child. Maybe someone down in the bullpen wanted to congratulate him. It is a little bit unusual to get back and still be breathing hard from your jog around the bases and have a phone in your ear, though.
Hamels gets ahead of him 0-2. Can't get him to chase that one. We've seen Napoli at first base in the first 2 games of this series. Today, the DH. And it's 2-2. Does like it better here at home. As those numbers would suggest, although he strikes out in the 4th inning, 2 away.
There's that changeup you're calling for right there, Dave. Hit a fastball for a home run. Not a terrible pitch either, down and in. But couldn't wait long enough to make contact with that changeup.
I want to invite folks to head out to the ballpark this Saturday when the Rangers take on the Mariners. First 7,500 kids 13 and under will receive a Dairy Max 3/4 sleeve AL West Champs t-shirt. Tickets by visiting TexasRangers.com or by calling 972 Rangers. The 1-0 to Santana. And that will even it up. Santana bounced back to the mound in the first inning. He's 0 for 1.
And if you really like the changeup, there's another one for you. It's working pretty good for Cole today.
He is throwing a little more frequency tonight.
And there's the cutter if you like that. I don't think Carlos Santana liked it very much. Santana's got a good eye.
He's 3rd in the American League with 31 walks.
He seems to get calls going his way too. Borderline pitches. Cole painting the edges of the strike zone. Santana getting the calls, most of them.
The 3-1. And that's right on the outside corner. Santana apparently thought he had ball 4. 227 average for Santana, but he has managed 9 homers. And eventually he does get ball 4. Second walk of the game issued by Hamels. First base runner the Indians have had since that first inning, where they walked to KIPNIS, set up Napoli's 2-run homer. And now here's the switch hitting Jose Ramirez. Ramirez rolled out to first in the second inning, so he's 0 for 1. Three hits in this series. We've seen him for the second time tonight in left field. Saw him at third base yesterday. He's become a valuable utility player for the Indians. Three and 0. The count to Ramirez with Uribe waiting on deck. So Hamels, after the walk to Santana, 3 straight misses on Ramirez. And he'll walk him as well.
Yeah, that's something that you just don't expect with Cole on the mound. Strike out Napoli, 2 outs, nobody on, and then have a hard time throwing a strike to Santana and Ramirez to walk 2 in a row with 2 outs. Very unusual.
It's Brocale out there in a hurry. And Bobby Wilson, the initial conversation. He'll deal with Uribe now with a couple of men on. For what it's worth, he is squared off against Juan Uribe on a number of occasions. In fact, more than anybody else in the lineup tonight. And HAMELS has had some mastery over Uribe in his career. Just 1 for 15 against HAMELS. And to fly out in the second inning, and the first pitch to him is low. Struggling to find the strike zone. Uribe was trying to hit that one a long way. It's 1-1. Very much the veteran. Uribe pops it up. Foul territory first base side, and that's not going to come back far enough for Moreland. 37 years old. Uribe very well traveled. Made his big league debut in 2001 with the Colorado Rockies. The White Sox, the Giants, the Dodgers, Mets. He loops this one out into right field. Mazzara is in position, and the inning is over. So a couple of walks, but nothing hurt for HAMELS, and we go to the 5th inning. Well, good time now for our greater coverage of baseball, sponsored by T-Mobile. The International Olympic Committee unanimously recommending the addition of baseball and softball to the Olympic Games in Tokyo in 2020. And it does look like the Rangers are going to miss Felix Hernandez this weekend. Put on the 15-day disabled list, a strained right calf. He won't be eligible to come back until June 12th. So King Felix on the shelf for a stretch now. Mariners just a half game back of the Rangers in the American League West. Here's Ryan Rua, who grounded out in the 3rd inning. 0 for 1 today, had the double in Monday's game. Nice homecoming for Rua. And it's 1-1. Rangers got single tallies in the 1st and 3rd innings tonight. They've done it on just 2 hits, while the Indians scored their 2 runs on their only hit so far tonight, the Mike Napoli homer in the 1st.
I just did a little investigative work between innings to try to find out who Knapp could have been talking to after his home run. Definitely not a baby in the family. And then I wondered if it could have been that lady who he hugged and promised a home run. But it turns out that that phone, you can't make outside calls to it. You pick up the phone and it either rings the replay people or the bullpen. So it was someone closely associated with the team. They didn't know who it was. They saw that. And
all right, though, that at least narrows it down for us. Rua strikes out looking on a borderline pitch at best.
That's not a strike. That's too low to be a strike, too far outside to be a strike.
You almost don't know what to argue. If you're Rua, do you go with
all you say
low
is,
or do you go with outside?
Come on, Tripp, give me a break, man. That's ball 4. Lead off walk.
A big bender to Wilson. That one a little bit in for ball 1. Wilson walked and scored a run in the 3rd inning. 2-0 the count.
So like during day games, you can't call your stockbroker from the dugout. Your wife can't call you during the game. Obviously, you're not going to have your cell phone on the bench. So the only people you could talk to, probably not the replay guy, but maybe someone in the bullpen.
Liner out to Rajai Davis. Wilson retired for the 2nd out of the inning.
Bobby just keeps swinging the bat. Boy, that was a rope right at the center fielder. Walked and scored a run. Hitting 5 straight games coming into this with a 526 average. So then he gets 3 days off, and Brian Holiday goes nuts for 3 games. Doesn't matter who's in there.
Well, look at your Ford leaderboard there. You see the American League ranks for catchers. Average, on base, the run production. You don't want to call it a 2-headed monster. You can call it like a 3-headed monster or whatever. That Texas catching core has been outstanding offensively.
Umpires coming in and check on their teammate behind the plate.
Gibson getting some attention from the athletic trainer from the Indians bench as well.
We probably should explain. Did we explain who that lady was that we mentioned?
No, and that's a real good point. We take a look at what happened to Tripp Gibson here. Oops.
That's all you need to know.
Take all the time you need, Tripp. Yeah, well, that was that Monday where there was a gal at the ball game here put up a big sign for him?
Yeah, she said, I believe she'd been ill. I'm not positive on that, but she wanted a hug and a homer. I don't think Knapp hit the homer, but it was a very touching picture of him giving her a nice hug in the paper. So maybe the homer came a couple days late, but it was not her on the phone.
Gibson talking his way through this one. He's going to be all right. There's Napoli, who homered in the 1st inning tonight.
Heck, maybe Knapp told someone down the bullpen he was going to hit a home run for him in the 1st inning.
Well, Napoli did homer Monday. He homered in the 6th inning of that game on Monday. The game was well out of hand, right? It was 9-0 at that time.
Was that the day the picture was, though, or was the picture the day after that?
That's the part. I'm not. That was the day of the picture, I'm told. So yeah.
Very cool.
He's one of those real good guys in the game. Great clubhouse guy. Year after year after year ends up on winning teams. He's in the postseason every time you look up. All right, now Profar back in there with the count 1-0. Yeah, here it was
there
Monday.
We go. There's what we're talking about.
Now her chemo started on Tuesday. This was Monday. She wanted a hug and a homer. She got both.
She got 2 homers. Hope her chemo is going very well.
Profar 2 for 2 tonight.
Boy, he's taking some rips too. Not trying to hit a soft line drive to left field, that's for sure.
What's impressed you most so far about him in this week that he has spent with the team.
I just think he's playing all around good baseball. He's been very comfortable and defensively at second base, even though he's played shortstop most of the season in AAA. He's had good solid at bats. He's had a hit, at least a hit in every game. I mentioned that he played in the pregame show. He played 5 games, scored 6 runs, scored in today's game. So he's pretty much done exactly what you would hope he would do, leading off, getting on base, scoring runs, and playing solid defense, replacing Rudy at second base. It looks like he belongs here. He's been here before. He's got a little bit of a big league track record, but playing confidently right now.
Strikes out to end the 5th inning. It's still 2-2. For the Cold Hard Fact, brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. So you might have seen this. Padres had a couple of guys, position players, throwing in relief yesterday. Of all of those who have pitched in a game since 2008, Mitch Moreland, the 2nd highest average fastball, over 91 miles per hour. It was back in 2014 against the Rockies in Denver. But he brought a little heat. You remember that?
I definitely remember that. You know, Mitch was a pitcher in college, and I've heard Mitch tell the story that there are some teams that would have drafted him as a pitcher. In fact, the Rangers were perfectly willing to watch him pitch when he was a minor league player, but Mitch insisted on sticking with offense, and he's had a very nice career. It was a good decision by Mitch, but I don't think there's any doubt watching him pitch that day that if he had concentrated on pitching after signing out of college, that he would have enjoyed a nice career as a pitcher too. Probably a relief pitcher, but a guy that, if that's what he worked on, probably would have been throwing in the mid-90s and been a very good left-handed reliever.
Man's first base tonight, a 2-2 ball game as we play in the bottom of the 5th inning, and Moreland right there to pick up that grounder. Feeds Hamels at first, 1 away.
Since the home run to Napoli, Cole has not given up a hit. He had that little blip in the 4th inning with 2 outs. He walked 2 batters, but quickly got the rebate to get out of that inning. And 1 pitch to Napoli resulted in the 2 runs. And at first, it looked like that pitch was a great pitch to hit out over the plate, but watching the replay, it was down and in and barely a strike. It's one of those pitches that the hitter hit in spite of where it was.
Here's Jimenez, who struck out looking in the 3rd. Jimenez 0 for 1. Splitting time behind the plate with Yan Gomes here in Cleveland.
There's your changeup.
Well, that pitch has been pretty good tonight. It's pretty good anytime he runs it out there. Tapper foul, and it's 1-2 on Jimenez. It's his third go-round with Cleveland Indians. 19th round selection at the University of Nevada in 2004. Last year, though, hit .255 with the Rangers and was with the ball club at spring training. Takes that one a little tight, 2-2.
There it is again.
Gets him to chase it. Another strikeout for HAMELS. With 1 out, rather 2 out in this 5th inning. Let's send it back to Dana Larson in the studio for a Chevy game break. Yeah, thanks, Dana. They just keep hitting the ball. Red Sox. 3 of the top 5 averages in the American League belong to Red Sox hitters, and they're spreading it around nicely. 2 away here, and Rajai Davis breaks his bat as this one rolls up the middle. Bare hand play for Andrews, but the throw in the dirt, and Moreland couldn't scoop it.
A nice pickup by Elvis. It was not an easy ball to scoop it in your bare hand the way it bounced. You probably didn't have a great grip on it. And Rajai Davis is a very good runner. So he had to get rid of it as quickly as he could. The throw was low, and Mitch got most of his glove on it, but just wasn't able to make it stick in the glove. Great try. Would have been a beautiful play. Rajai Davis, a definite threat to try to steal a base right there. Perfect opportunity. 2 outs, tie game. And he's been a very good base stealer throughout his career.
Infield hit, the first hit for the Indians since that 1st inning. Davis, 3rd in the American League to this point of the year with 11 stolen bases, but you can see in recent years he's been the man. HAMELS will try to keep him close to the bag, and Wilson will be on his toes behind the plate. This one fouled off by KIPNIS. It's 1-1. Fouled that off twice.
Pretty good.
Indians have been aggressive on the bases this season. Not in this series, though, as they have trailed by wide margins for most of the baseball we've watched up here. Terry Francona, in his 4th year in Cleveland, has had him on the move.
A 1-2 count. You'd think he's going right here. He couldn't get it. I think he wanted to. He just couldn't get a jump.
Count stays 1-2. He's got a decent lead, and there he goes. And this ball is ripped into right field, base hit and more. Up against the fence. Davis with that head start. He'll score the go-ahead run. KIPNIS with the RBI double makes it 3-2 Indians.
Oh, he hit the ball on the one pitch that Davis was running on. And even with Davis's speed, I don't know if he would have scored if he wasn't running. KIPNIS hit a pitch that was inside. Got jammed a little bit. Trying to throw it inside. He got it inside off the plate, exactly where he was trying to throw it. KIPNIS hit the little soft line drive right down the right field line. The 2 hits that have done damage have been good pitches, really.
Bouncer down to third. Beltre on top of it, and that ends the inning. But a couple of 2-out hits by the Indians gives them the 1-run lead. We're up 3-2 as we go to the 6th inning. Time for the Sonic Slam inning, brought to you by Sonic. Tonight's jackpot is $400 and dinner for 2 at Sonic Drive-In. If a Ranger hits a home run during this inning, Bobby Greenfield of Kennedale, Texas will win $400. And if a Ranger hits a grand slam this inning, well, Bobby wins $25 grand. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. Will be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the 6th for the Rangers. Desmond, who's 0 for 2, but with an RBI. And Prince Fielder and Adrian Beltre. One and one to Desmond. Now this was between innings. They did a little hot dog race here, and it got ugly. But it's not just the hot dogs. Jason Kipnis gets involved, sort of unwittingly. Whoop.
I don't think that was part of the act,
No,
was it?
I don't think so.
He dislocated his shoulder, got run into by the hot dog between innings. Be right up there with Odemy McDowell cutting his finger with a butter knife. The welcome back home, welcome back Ranger luncheon on opening day that year.
Now, the pantheon of weird baseball injuries, I'd say getting hit by a hot dog would be
right up there.
Of course, Kipnis, I think no worse the wear. You might want to check on the guy in the hot dog costume, though.
You sure it's a guy?
Well, good point.
Could be a female hot dog.
Full count on Desmond. Bauer wanting some new signs. One of the things they worked on with Bauer this year at spring training was improving his tempo. I wanted to see him get after these hitters with a little quicker rate. And you can see here why. I mean, he's been deliberate since the very beginning of tonight's contest as he walks Desmond to start the 6th inning. Hey, the Silver Boot Series, presented by the Texas Lottery, resumes in Arlington on Monday, June 6th. The Rangers taking on the Astros. The first 15,000 fans 14 and older will receive a Fox Sports Southwest Airlines Rangers cap. Get your tickets today at TexasRangers.com. for the only cap giveaway of the season. That'll be next Monday, the opener of that 4-game series against the Astros. Strike in there to Fielder, quick throw down to first, but Desmond beat it back in.
Ian needed all of his quickness to get back to first base. It looked like he started a delayed steal. Watch him. He takes a couple quick steps and then still has the quickness to get back to first base. Those guys are going to be out on that play, but his quick steps got him back there.
Big shift on the infield against Fielder. Hits this one in the air, back of second base. Backpedaling on it is the shortstop, Lindor, and that is out number 1. Time for our TXU Energy Power Player to watch tonight. And that is Adrian Beltre, who's 0 for 1 with a walk. Beltre, though, hitting well in the 6-game hitting streak. Flashing some power in there. He and Mazzara leading the team with 9 home runs. And smashes this one into left field, a base hit. So Desmond moves up to second, but will hold there. Rangers have a couple of men on with 1 out.
Adrian's got a 7-game hitting streak going. Leadoff walk in the 4th, now a base hit here in the 6th. Nomar's seen Bauer a couple of times now. See if he has a plan on how to attack him right here.
Bauer's had the pitch count well in check tonight. Gave up the 1 run in the 1st inning on the sac fly by Prince Fielder. Gave up another run in the 3rd on a run scoring ground out by Ian Desmond. And he starts Mazzara with a fastball for strike 1. Nomar was hitless yesterday with a strikeout. Went 1 for 4 on Monday with a massive home run to center field. It's 1-1. Well, that's a pretty good note. Go back to Chris Davis in 2008 for a May quite like the one Mazzara posted. And even though, you know, he's 1 for 15 his last 5 games, but he is still, when he has hit the ball, he's had big hits. 5 home runs, 12 RBIs in the last 12 games.
Yeah, his 1 hit went into the trees in center field.
Two 1, and this one is served out into left field. Right there for Phil Ramirez, and there are 2 away.
Oh, a nice swing and a well hit ball right at Ramirez.
Now brings up Mitch Moreland. 0 for 2 tonight. Just popped up to Uribe at 3rd. He is also flied out to center field. Been one of those starts for Moreland overall where the numbers have not been anywhere near where he has wanted them, but the road in particular has been tough for Moreland. Bounces this one between 1st and 2nd and handled over there by Santana, and it ends the inning. So Rangers got a couple on but couldn't get him in. Trail by a run to the bottom of the 6th. the Rangers' first American League Championship victory back in 2010. Be one of the first 10,000 fans in the park on Thursday, June 9th, and watch the Rangers take on the Astros. Pick up this special collectible. Tickets are available at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. So bottom of the 6th inning tonight. Indians leading by a run, and Mike Napoli will start things off. Bounces one down the third baseline. It's 1-1 on Napoli, who homered in the first, struck out swinging in the fourth. Two long balls in this series, giving him 12 for the year. As among the top 10 in the American League. The average just a little above 230 now. So he strikes out swinging for the first out of the 6th.
Well, Napoli, good low ball hitter for sure. The pitch he hit was inside for home run, inside, but it was low. And he got worked over pretty good for the 2nd straight time by Cole.
It's his 71st time this year that Napoli has struck out.
He elevated the fastball after he got ahead of him with 2 strikes.
For HAMELS, his 5th strikeout tonight. Evens things here at 1-1 on Carlos Santana. He walked in the 4th inning and bounced back to the mound in the 1st. This one is hit over to the right side and through. Base hit for Carlos Santana.
And into the shift. Ranger infielders were pulled around on the other side of second base. He hit the ball to the right side of second base. Got himself a base hit.
Looks easy. I mean, it was a huge hole there. Hit it there.
That was an off-speed pitch, and if you're an infielder, you would expect him to pull an off-speed pitch, but it was kind of high, and he wasn't able to pull it. Turned out good for him. Turned out well for him.
Jose Ramirez also 0 for 1 with a walk. And he hits this ball hard down the left field line. Long run for Rua. It hits high off the fence. Into third base, Santana. It's a double for Jose Ramirez. It's 19 feet up to the yellow stripe out there. That one hit probably about 15 feet high.
Inside part of the plate in the center of the strike zone, but on the inside corner. Ramirez is a pretty good hitter. He's hitting .310 coming into the game. He's the 2nd hardest hitter in the American League to strike out. He has as many walks as strikeouts. In fact, more walks than strikeouts, which is pretty unusual for any big league hitter. Definitely unusual for a young one. He's also been hot, hitting .350 in his last 10 ball games.
Some activity now out in the Rangers bullpen. 2-minute scoring position for Uribe. Chopper third base. Beltre able to gun him down at first.
That's a big
while
out.
holding the runners. Yeah.
Uribe flied out to center and flied out to right. Then when he needed a fly ball, he grounded out to third.
Goes back to what you were saying earlier. Seems simple enough, right? Man at third, less than 2 outs, just hit a fly ball.
Yeah.
Not always that simple. Here's Lonnie Chisenhall. HAMELS trying to keep it a 1-run game through 6 innings. And trying to strand 2 Indians in scoring position. Wow, just the 5 hits so far, 3 runs with 5 strikeouts. also issued 3 walks. Two and 0 to Chisenhall. Chisenhall likely wouldn't be in the lineup today were it not for the suspension of Marlon Byrd. Good homer yesterday, though. That drove in 3 runs with 3 hits in yesterday's game. Two and 1 the count. And here it comes. Bouncer up the middle. Right there for it is Andrus. And that'll do it. Indians leave 2 in scoring position. Indeed, Hamels gets through 6 innings, but the Rangers trail by a run. For the Ford-game summary, we go back to the first inning. Prince Fielder with 1 out and a man at third. Little sacrifice fly to foul ground. That got Profar home. And the Rangers the 1-0 lead. Bottom of that same inning, though, Mike Napoli. That dinger good for 2. Indians had their first lead of this series. And once it was tied again, Jason Kipnis in the 5th with 2 outs. That 2-out double made it 3-2 Cleveland, and that's where we are as we head to the 7th. Trevor Bauer out for his 7th inning of work and fires one in there for a strike to Elvis Andrus. He's gotten Elvis twice today on strikes. He jumps ahead of him 0-2 here. Elvis has left this field hitless only once in his career. His previous 30 games here at Progressive Field. Bauer working a little more quickly in this 7th inning. And evens count at 2-2 on Andrus. Closing in on 100 pitches for the night. He's been pretty darn consistent inning by inning. Stays 2 balls, 2 strikes. Four hits and 8 at bats for Andrus in the first 2 games of this series. He's hit safely in 13 of his last 15 games. So swinging a real good bat. A big lift to get that lead man on in the 7th inning, trailing by a run. Popped up right field, and Chisenhall right there. One away. Well, Bauer, a couple pitches away from 100, and this is the 7th game he has started this year. Also pitched in relief to begin the season. For the first 6 games he has started, he has gone over 100 pitches. His season high this year, 113. Rua lifts this one into center field. Davis going back, looks up, and it's gone. Solo home run by Ryan Rua, and it ties the game at 3.
He launched that one. That's to the deep part of left center field, and it went about 8 or 10 rows back. Rangers in this series have, when they've swung at the first pitch and put it in play, that's a pretty good success. Ryan getting the start against the right-handed pitcher, trying to throw it down and away, and he throws it a little bit more toward the middle of the plate. And Ryan shows the kind of power he has. We saw the game winner hit in Texas to center field. Distance-wise, that's right up there with it. No doubt about it. High and far. That's, in fact, the 3rd first pitch home run of the series for the Rangers. Really wasn't in Trevor Bauer's game plan.
Breaking ball ties up Wilson. The count 0-2. So Rua in front of more hometown family and friends. Big moment tonight in this 7th inning. His 3rd home run this season. Well, a lot of discussion today too. Jeff Bannister having to answer questions about, well, why Rua today? Righty on righty. What was the thought process? And Bannister, I'll tell you what, man, he will get into some pretty good detail on how he makes some of those decisions. But with regard to Rua today and versus Bauer, he said he just thought the swing path was one that favored Rua against Bauer's stuff, because Bauer typically lives a little higher in the zone and moves the ball laterally left to right. I just thought that was maybe a better matchup for Ryan Rua. So he went with him. He said Hoying, could really take care of the low ball sometimes a little better.
That's a pretty scientific way of putting your lineup together, and by the looks of it, pretty good thought process.
It looks real good right now. 1-1 to Profar. And he hits this one on the ground right to Kipnis. That'll be the final out of the inning, but Ryan Rua's solo home run has made it a new game. They stay in the stretch in Cleveland, all knotted up at 3. aggressive upcoming schedule. Rangers heading home after this one tonight. Enjoy an off day tomorrow, and then it's Seattle for 3 and Houston for 4 on the homestand before another long road trip. That's a pretty challenging run in June. The way Seattle's been playing, Houston's been hot lately. Cole Hamels back out for a 7th inning. Suddenly a new game. 3-3 the score. Goes after Chris Jimenez, and he'll hit it right to Ryan Rua in left field for out number 1. Oh, we have a moment. Let's quickly send it back to the studios. Dana Larson standing by with a Chevy game break. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's the 2nd inning too. So if he's tied the record, he's going to have at least 3 more at bats in that game.
He's on an amazing run as Davis sends one out into left, and Rua can't get to this one. It's a base hit, 2nd of the game for the Indians leadoff man. That's crazy. Mookie Betts yesterday with 3 home runs out of that leadoff position. And that's only happened 22 times in the history of the game. Some pretty good names on the list of players who have done that. Guys like Andrew McCutchen, Alfonso Soriano, Tim Raines, Pete Rose. And a 3-homer game out of the leadoff spot for Charlie Hustle back in the day. Here's Kipnis. First to check in the speedy Rajai Davis at first. Ty, do you have any multi-homer games in the big leagues?
I didn't hit a whole lot of home runs, so if I did, I would remember them. I had 2. One was in the 10-cent beer night at Cleveland. I thought they got canceled because the game was forfeited because of the fans coming on the field. I thought they didn't count, but they did. And then one, I think it was the last game of the season one year against the White Sox.
What about in the minors?
I don't think I ever had one in the minors. Might have had 1 or 2, but I can't remember. Can't remember. Had a couple in Little League. I don't think I ever had one in high school either.
Tight to Kipnis, and it's 1-1. So you had 2 big league homers, which means double the number of Giants broadcaster Dwayne Kuiper.
What, he had 1?
Yeah, he had 1
in his life.
Yep. Swinging a fly ball center field. Davis was on the move. This one grabbed out there by Desmond. The throw back to first.
He's lucky he's fast. Otherwise, Ian would have had him throwing on the run. He made an accurate 1-hop throw. But Davis had the speed to get back there. Who Kuiper hit that ball off of? Do you remember?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't know.
I bet you he remembers. That got released the next day after he gave up a home run to Kuiper.
He has the bat and the ball, you know, mounted nicely.
That's great.
In his bathroom.
Well, he was a good player. He just wasn't a home run hitter. That wasn't his game.
Scrappy defensive second baseman.
Yeah.
Good guy here in Cleveland. Davis with a good lead over at first. Ball 1 to Francisco Lindor, who's 0 for 3.
Yeah, Davis really has been on a couple of times. Really hasn't been able to get a jump against Cole in situations where you would think he would try to steal if he could. Now
there was one pitch in the 5th inning where It was like a 1-2 pitch, and you could see that he wanted to go, but Hamels kind of rushed the delivery. It's nearly a quick pitch.
Yeah, probably he's varying the time it takes him to throw the ball to the plate. There you go.
Now picked him off. Go down to second. Gets away.
Yeah, it's just one of those times. It looked like he said to himself, I'm going to get the biggest lead I can get. And as soon as he moves, I'm taking off. He throws to the plate, I'm in good shape. And if he throws to first base, I've got a big enough jump to where maybe I can beat it to second base anyway.
So 12th stolen base of the year for Rajai Davis. He is in scoring position. The Indians have done well this year. Create opportunities with their speed on the bases. High chopper right to Andrews. That will end the inning, and the stolen base is for naught. We'll go to the 8th. Tonight in Cleveland, tied at 3. Chance to meet Ranger pitcher Sam Dyson and Ranger captain on June 8th at the Whataburger on Airport Freeway in Euless. Just go to texasrangers.com/appearances for more information. Incidentally, scoring change for those of you keeping a book. Last half inning, it was not a stolen base for Davis. Indeed, it was a balk against Cole Hamels that allowed him to get to second. So
Davis probably would rather have had a stolen base.
I mean, you see Trip Gibson right on top of it.
Is he saying he didn't step toward first base, maybe? Doug Brocail's going to show us. It's the only thing I can think of, that he didn't step toward first base. It didn't really matter, because if it wasn't a balk, he was going to, it was a stolen base. It was whatever you want to call it, but he ended up at second base anyway.
Well, big half inning here. Brian Shaw has come on for Bauer. Tie game in the 8th, and the Rangers have their 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up. Breaking ball. Swung on a miss by Desmond. 25th appearance for Shaw. We saw Shaw yesterday in the 8th inning. He came in after Ian Desmond's double. Kind of opened the game up just a little bit. Ended up giving up an RBI double to Adrian Beltre in his inning of work.
And so far early in the season, he's been a little bit prone to the long ball. He's pitched 21 innings. He has given up 5 home runs in relief. Working with a little bit of an elevated ERA.
Yeah, that's a lot for him too. His last year was his worst year in terms of home runs allowed. He gave up 8. 1-2, and Desmond fights it off. Ian today 0 for 2 with a walk. Drove in a run back in the 3rd inning. Here's the Rangers Player of the Month for May. Keeps us back going. Desmond has a 9-game hitting streak on the line tonight. A streak over which he's hit .375. This is Shaw's 4th season with the Indians. Right-handers 1-2. And that's popped back behind the plate.
Right on that one. Like a hanger too. Great swing. He's been taking great swings for about 40 games. Trying to throw that one down and away. He threw it right there. I think he's probably wondering how he missed that one. The way he's been swinging the bat. And then he made a good one.
Yeah, got that one down, and Desmond over the top of it. First out of the 8th inning.
He had a great swing at the one before it. And Shaw, I'm sure that time went out of his way to keep the ball down and made a good pitch.
So here's Fielder. Sacrifice fly in the 1st inning. He's also flat out to right, popped up behind second base to the shortstop. Little dribbler out in front of the plate. Jimenez hustling out, and the catcher makes the play for out number 2. That was no routine little dribbler either. That was in the exact right spot. I guess if you're a hitter, somebody with more speed made that a very, very close play at first. Now with 2 away, it'll be up to Adrian Beltre. By the way, bottom of the 8th inning, we'll see Napoli, Santana, and Jose Ramirez for the Indians. This ball hit out to center field. Base hit for Beltre. Rangers had that go-ahead run on base. And a 2-hit day for Adrian Beltre.
Down and in, Adrian still was able to hit it. Ball was down in the area where Napoli launched his home run.
Now important to get that go-ahead run on base, and then equally as important to get Nomar Mazara to the plate. 0 for 3 tonight. Shaw faced Mazara for the first time in his career yesterday in that 8th inning and got him to ground out to short. But it's 2-0. Bring Jimenez out to the mound. We were mentioning earlier tonight Felix Hernandez of the Mariners on the disabled list. Mariners put in there today with a strained right calf. James Paxton, the highly touted left-hander, called up to take his spot on the rotation for the time being, but it was reported in the Tacoma News Tribune that the injury was sustained yesterday in that 16-4 win over the Padres, while celebrating with the rest of his teammates on one of the many home runs hit in that game.
We were just talking about injuries, strange injuries. Oh man, Tripp Gibson got hit again.
Goodness.
Man, oh man.
Paused the game for quite a long spell earlier.
Oh boy. I'd say, all right, I stuck it out for one. I'm getting out of there now. When you guys go get the stuff on, I'm done.
Same spot both times. Man. Right as we were talking about strange injuries, and the one sustained by Felix Hernandez. And I mean, look, umpires go through it as well. Gibson, who for a number of years worked in the minor leagues and will get that occasional fill-in job, became a full-time major league umpire last year. He's had a challenging evening tonight. He's a gamer. I mean, he got up there last time and said, oh, I'm all right, boys, right back in it. He's taking a few extra moments here. So many times you see an umpire or a catcher, you know, hit by a foul ball or something, and you'll see the other one, you know, buy some time for him, a little visit out to the mound, maybe dust off the plate, that kind of thing. Well, this one, there's no way around it. He's got to take some time and make sure he's all right. It's one of those tag. I mean, he's saying he's okay. His face is not exactly communicating the same thing.
No, and there's obviously a high level of concern when it's the second ball in the game that caused the same injury. He's going to try to stick it out, though. Good for him.
They're going to
walk around a little bit, let the pitcher toss a few.
Yep.
Needs a little bit longer.
Meanwhile, tied at 3 here in the 8th inning. I mentioned Felix Hernandez to the disabled list for the Mariners, and they're due in town on Friday for the first of 3 at Globe Life Park. Looks like Tripp Gibson is okay, ready to get back there again. A nice bath ready for him when this one's over. Beltre at first, 2 away, and a 2-1 count to Mazara as we resume action. There goes Beltre. And that one maybe hit Mazara. They're going to say he went around on the check swing down there at third base. Gabe Morales rung him up. Mazara didn't look right either. Beltre, meanwhile, does move up on the wild pitch.
He's going back to first base.
They're going to send him back to first.
Well, it hit him, but I guess they ruled that he swung at it.
Kevin Harmon out of the Rangers dugout.
Yeah, he definitely swung at it. It definitely hit him, but it doesn't count as a hit by pitch if you swung at it. And when the ball hits the batter, it's a dead ball. Ball hit him right in the foot. fan. He was wondering why he didn't go to second, and he got the explanation. He said, okay, now I know.
Well, that's a treacherous at bat. Or Jimenez, that'd be pretty focused on this next pitch. So they reset everybody. Beltre back to first. And Mazar ready to go. Francisco Lindor out there at shortstop, tossing his glove in the air, just trying to keep himself busy.
Strange few pitches. Batter gets hit on a swing and a miss. The umpire's been hit twice.
All set to go. 2-2. And a bouncer right to the second baseman. Kipnis, force out at second to Beltre. Hits the inning. Can you believe it? We go to the bottom of the eighth. 3-3. Tonight's Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Cole Hamels, who was getting the punch outs tonight, 5 of them. Working an assortment of pitches. The changeup was good today. Curveball was good. Seven innings, 6 hit ball, 3 runs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts for Hamels, 110 pitches. He gives way in the bottom of the 8th inning to Luke Jackson, 24-year-old right-hander, making his 4th appearance in relief.
That was a good solid outing for Cole. The 2 hits that hurt him were really pretty good pitches. The one to Napoli was inside. It was down. Napoli is a low ball hitter, but it was still inside. And the one that Kipnis hit for a double was a couple of inches inside, jammed him, and just found a little spot down the right field line to land it for an RBI. Good solid outing.
So Jackson in a tie game. Try and keep it that way as he goes after Mike Napoli.
Next time Napoli came to the plate, second time he came to the plate after that, got ahead with off speed pitches, then threw him a high fastball that Nap swung and missed at.
Just at the top of the zone, and it is 2-0. Jackson with that exhale in the pitch. There's a swing and a miss. Fastball at 94 miles per hour, and it is 2-1 on Napoli.
That's a great spot, great opportunity for Luke Jackson, who hasn't pitched in this kind of a spot, a tie game late in the ball game. Bullpen is tired and needs a rest, and so it's up to him to come in and get the job done under these circumstances.
Popped a mile in the air behind the plate. Wilson calls it in for out number 1. Our next telecast presented by AT&T high-speed internet. Off day tomorrow, but then Friday, 7 o'clock. Back at Globe Life Park. Mariners and Robinson Cano coming into town. Cano's been awfully good this year. Yu Darvish to make his second start. He's come back from Tommy John surgery at home, where he's had a lot of success. Great way to get things started on this next homestand. Breaking ball to Carlos Santana, misses in. Mariners play later tonight in San Diego. Final game of that series. Finally, a catcher getting into the act. That one right off of Wilson's fingers. Boy, that is such a tough one.
Right around home plate today, boy. Everybody's getting hit. The hitters, the catcher, the umpire.
One to Carlos Santana. Smooth. 1 for 2 today with a walk, and it is 2-1. The Mariners called James Paxton up. He will start tonight for Seattle. The West Division's been hot lately, up and down the division, everybody winning. This one popped up. Third base side. Beltre tracking it, and there are 2 out.
We were talking about Sam Dyson. Sam was in 17 games in the month of May, so he's obviously due for a rest. We've mentioned this several times too. The good thing about Sam is he's pitched in a lot of games, but he hasn't thrown a lot of pitches. He's very efficient with his pitches. Third most games ever for a Texas pitcher in a single month. Dale Mahorsic pitched in 19 games in August of 1986, and Mitch Williams pitched in 18 games in that same month of August. The two relievers, 37 games between them in the month of August in 1986.
Ramirez hits this one deep out there to left center. Base hit. We're out by Desmond. He'll get it back in, but not before Jose Ramirez with a 2-out double.
And the other late inning guys, take a look at Ramirez. Got a pitch out over the plate. Nice quick bat. Talked about him a little bit early in the game. Makes great contact, tough to strike out or take a walk. He's been hot. 2 hits today. He's hitting about 360 in his last 11 games. But Diekman, Dyson, Barnett, Bush have all pitched a lot. That's why in a tie game, it's Luke Jackson's turn to come out and see if he can hold the score right here.
Great job getting the first 2. Now worked with Ramirez at second against Juan Uribe, who's hitless so far tonight in 3 trips. Jackson made 7 relief appearances for the Rangers last year. Total of 6 1/3 innings. Haven't been used sparingly since called up recently in the 2-0. It's right in there for a strike. First 3 outings so far this year for Luke Jackson. Not gone that well. He has allowed at least a run in each of them. This one swung on line to center and a base hit. That'll get Ramirez home from second. Into second base goes Uribe. Indians lead 4-3.
Oh, Rebang hit that ball hard. The good part about hitting the ball hard is it gets to the outfielder quickly. The bad part is he doesn't have room to charge it. And when he fields it, he's got a long-range throw. And so in this kind of a game, a tie game, 8th inning, Ian let it fly, threw a great throw home. Guess there's a pretty good runner, Ramirez running. In that kind of a situation, third base coach would have sent anybody. It was a little bit of a slower runner. Ian's throw was pretty much right on the plate and would have had some other runners.
Martinez pinch running out there for Uribe. Lonnie Chisenhall. That's one foul.
He's trying to throw that pitch down and away. Instead, it was down and in. And here's the long-range throw from Ian. Pretty much right there. The fast runner, and he beat it.
Single for Uribe. Second on the throw, and now a roller down to first base. Moreland positioned perfectly, will take it to the bag himself, and that ends the inning. But the Indians get back in front. Last chance for the Rangers coming up. Last chance in this 9th inning for the Rangers. Trailing by a run. Moreland, Andrus, and Ryan Rua in this 9th inning. Cody Allen, their Indians closer, has come on here for the 24th time. 11 for 11 in save opportunities, a 1-3 record, and a pretty nice 3.47 ERA. He's a tough one. Those unheralded closers in the American League, guy you don't hear a whole lot about, but last couple of years has been very effective here. Changes for the Indians as Martinez goes into the outfield. Mitch Moreland stands in, takes ball one from Allen. And there you see Ramirez, who moves from left field to third. Well, just a little bit wide. It's 2-0 to Moreland, who is hitless so far in 3 tries tonight. Rangers I just need to find a way to get somebody on base. Davis moving from center field to left field for the Indians. It's 3-0 to Moreland. Likely taken all the way here, and indeed draws the leadoff walk in the 9th inning. So interesting start for Cody Allen. You can follow Rangers baseball live with the MLB.com @bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and a whole lot more. Download MLB.com @bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. Hanser Alberto down at first base is the pinch runner. Good speed over there as Andrews takes ball 5. Allen hasn't found the zone yet.
No, he tried 4 fastballs. They were all up and away. So he decided to try a curveball to get back in the groove, so to speak, and threw that one outside.
.1-0, and that one grooved for strike 1. Fans with some mock cheers, or maybe those were very sincere. I don't know. Allen had issued 14 walks in 23 1/3 innings coming in, so he's not immune to giving up that free pass. Hanser, by the way, has only attempted 1 stolen base this year. He was successful. Look at those numbers for Andrews against Cody Allen. 1-1. And a breaking ball for strike 2. An unusual occurrence to this point for Elvis Andrews. No hits yet. Been held hitless in this park on only 1 occasion in his career. The 1-2. Off the fist. Tough play out to center. Dropped in. Base hit. Alberto with a good start from first. He'll head to third, and he's in there safely on the bloop single by Andrews.
Well, the leadoff walk gets the inning started. Elvis blooped it in. And if Martinez threw that ball to third, Elvis would have been on second base. He was ready to go to second. Good aggressive base running by Alberto. He knew he could get to third. He just kept right on going.
Well, this is your AT&T high-speed replay. Ryan Rua earlier tonight in the 7th inning with his solo home run tied the game. And that was a blast out there just to the left of center field. His 3rd home run of the year. But he is going to watch from the bench in the 9th inning. Lifted for Jared Hoyne with men on the corners.
Yeah, that's a great opportunity for Jared against a tough pitcher. Allen's 11 for 11 in save opportunities. Hard breaking ball, mid-90s fastball. Solid challenge right here for Jared.
Gets away from Allen for ball 1. Like Rua. Hoying, a native of Ohio, and got a lot of family and friends here this week. He delivered a couple of times yesterday, and well, he could leave him smiling tonight with a big hit in this 9th inning. The 1-0. It's too tight.
A good situation right here. You're ahead 2-0. He has to throw you a strike. Jarrett's got a good eye at the plate. He's seen a breaking ball and he's seen a fastball. So he's seen the pitches. He's ahead in the count. And he's got a pretty good eye. He can look for a pitch, and if he gets it, try to drive it.
Alberto down there at third base. Pinch running for Moreland. Elvis Andrus leading off first. It's 2-1 now on Hoying.
He's had a fastball and swing, so he's ready to go right here.
This one has been back and forth all night. Neither team has led by more than a run at any point. Anything to the outfield, anything at all, should tie the game. And it's 2-2. A little over 10,000 here tonight, 10,524. Been a tough homestand for this Indians team. A week ago, they were leading the Central Division. They have dropped 4 or 5 on this homestand, though. 2-2. Bouncer to the hole, short. Backhand stop, Lindor. The run scores. No double play. They get Andrus at second base, but Alberto scores. Hoying safe at first, and it's a new game.
Oh, a good job right there. You got a young player in his first year, first taste of the big leagues, facing a very good big league closer. 11 for 11. Fouled off a couple of fastballs, tried to get him with a breaking ball. He put it in play, and he showed his speed by beating out that double play. It looked like Terry Francona came out, and the umpires are coming over, possibly to look at the slide at second base.
So a 4-4 score, that won't change either way. What may change with the number of outs, depending on how this slide appears back in New York at Chelsea Market. And we'll review that slide by Elvis Andrus.
Who's the play at second base? That's close. Looked like he maintained contact of the base. He does slide in front of the base. His hands are up. His hands might have touched the second baseman. Didn't look like a violation. Instead of speculating, we'll hear what the umpires have to say about it. The ones where you start your slide past the bag and end up not being able to make any kind of contact with the bag are that's a definite violation.
Or if you change your path with the bag.
Yeah, it didn't look like he did that. It looked like he went right straight into the bag, put his arms up, and might have brushed Kipnis at second base. It didn't look like he did anything to alter the way the throw was made to first base.
But even that, even if there is a little bit of contact, that is a discretionary thing for the umpire to decide whether there was intent involved or if it was incidental. Initially, it was thought to be an umpire's challenge. Indeed, this is the Indians' challenge tonight. As I mentioned earlier, regardless the ruling here, it will stay a 4-4 game.
Yeah, the run is scored. It's just a matter of whether the Rangers have a fast runner at first and maybe a chance to take the lead. They're watching it from a lot of different angles, I'm sure, and it hasn't been a simple call.
A lot of pointing. I think the ultimate gesture there is that The run scores, the out at second, and Hoying okay at first base. The slide was not an illegal one.
Yeah, that's the way it looked. He's definitely in front of the bag. He didn't change his direction. Didn't even look like he touched Kipnis. They gave it a good look, but appeared they came up with the right call. But anyway, it's a good at bat for Jared. He put the ball in play, beat it out, got the tying run in, got an RBI. And he's a good base runner with good speed, so he's a threat right here to steal a base.
And Bobby Wilson, who, like anyone who has caught a game this year for the Rangers, has been swinging a very good bat. He's up there 0 for 2 tonight with a walk and a run scored. He's rested the last 3 games. Ryan Holiday has had the duties behind home plate. Wilson with a 5-game hitting streak on the line tonight. 4-4 game, 9th inning. Rangers with a chance to do something they haven't done all year. That is come back and win a game when trailing after 8 innings. And that one just missed being a fair ball.
Now, Cody Allen's thrown some breaking balls. He's hung a few of them too. Bobby almost waited long enough to hit that double right down the line, just a little bit out in front of it, and pulled it foul.
No balls, 2 strikes. On with that long pause. Now the pitch. Wilson stays alive. Keep in mind the Rangers playing a little short-handed. It hasn't really been a huge factor since the suspension for Rougned Odor. You haven't seen it manifested in terms of use of the bench. I think it has reared its head in the bullpen. They're playing with 24 while Odor serves his 7 games. Bouncer back to Allen. He'll go to second for the 1. On to first, and this time they get the double play to end the inning. But the Rangers will force a bottom of the 9th inning. Run scoring ground out by Jared Hoying. And here we go. Baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By AT&T high-speed internet. Get a deal worth talking about. Get high-speed internet from AT&T. And by your Texas Ford dealers. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today for incredible deals and see why Ford is the best in Texas. On the shores of Lake Erie in Cleveland, Ohio, we go to the bottom of the 9th inning in a 4-4 game. of a picket fence tonight by these two teams. They've gone back and forth, trading runs. Luke Jackson out for a second inning of work. And Yan Gomes is going to hit here for Chris Jimenez.
You saw Jake Diekman warming up in the bullpen. He must be the closer today. I think the three right-handers will be avoided, if at all possible, by Jeff Bannister. But Jake is available, and he was warming up in case the Rangers scored a go-ahead run, probably to come in as the closer. The game stayed tied, and Luke came back out for the ninth inning.
Strike pitch, and Gomes bounces it toward third, but foul. Count 0-2. Hanser Alberto is stayed in the game at first base. Came in a pinch run for Moreland and scored the tying run. And there's Jared Hoying, who stays in the game in left field after pinch hitting for Rua. There's a swing and a miss, and Gomes down on strikes to start the bottom of the ninth inning.
Good fastball right there by Luke. High fastball at 96 miles an hour. You can see Bobby raising his glove, and Luke pretty much threw it exactly where he called for it, right on top of the strike zone. With that kind of velocity, it was a very difficult pitch for Gomes to make any contact on. Oh, good start to the ninth inning right there by Luke. He got the first two guys in the eighth before a double and a single scored a run.
Now Davis, and he pumps one right in there for strike one. This is a guy you'd like to keep off the bases. Leadoff hitter with great speed for the Indians. And a curveball bounced toward third. Beltre grabs it, throws, and there are two away.
Takes a little tricky hop on Adrian. And Hanser has to use a little footwork and then get out of the way as Davis runs through the back.
Two away, and here's Jason Kipnis. 1 for 3. He has doubled, walked, scored a run. Jackson in his second inning of work and relief after Cole Hamels went 7 strong tonight. And a curve in there. It's 1-1. "24 years old. Right-hander delivers. And he's 1 strike away from sending this thing to the 10th inning. Working quickly, and he gets Kipnis to chase. That's strike 3, and the inning is over. Wait a minute, they're going to peel down to third base. Oh, foul tip.
Say foul tip.
Yep.
Hit the ground.
And here comes Jeff Bannister, and he's going to double check that one. What was interesting was Gibson looked like he appealed down to third base.
Those are impossible to tell. I can't tell if he fouled that ball off.
It's one of those.
Kipnis stayed right there and acted like he fouled it off. Umpires are going to get together and say that that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, hard to tell.
Yeah, it is.
Normally that's done by sound more than anything else for the plate umpire. So new life for Kipnis. Jackson buries another one. 1-2 on the way. He tried to see if he could get Kipnis to go after it again. Francisco Lindor is the man waiting on deck. Ideally, you get through it here by taking care of Kipnis. I didn't miss by much.
Good try. 96 miles an hour right near the outside corner. Watch the glove. Borderline pitch. Could go either way.
This one a pretty big one here. Full count. And they'll talk it over first. Looked a moment ago as if Jackson was out of the inning, but then ruled a foul tip. Kipnis has watched a couple of pitches miss, and now a big full count pitch on the way. Here it comes. And that's popped foul. We'll do it again. Well, if we can get to the 10th inning, it'll be the top of the order for the Rangers. Profar, Desmond, and Fielder. Jackson feeling like he can't be too careful here. Just missed. 2-out base runner for the Indians.
Coming into this game, Kipnis was struggling. He was hitting 196 over the last couple of weeks. He'd only walked once in his last 11 games. But in this game, he's got a double, 1 for 3 and a couple of walks, so he's back on track today. Kipnis is a good ball player. Does everything well. 2-time All-Star.
And now Francisco Lindor, who had been swinging a pretty good bat, but is hitless so far tonight, and takes it low. Runner-up last year for Rookie of the Year in the American League. He's off to a good start this year, though hitless in this series in 10 tries. Jackson looking for his first scoreless inning of relief this year. One to Lindor. Bouncing ball. Right side. Smothered by Profar. And indeed, Jackson gets his first scoreless inning. And it will go to the 10th. Profar to lead things off for the Rangers in a tie game. presented by Jack Link's Beef Jerky all season long. Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Feed your wild side. 10th inning tonight. And Rangers sitting at the top of the order against the 4th pitcher of the night for the Cleveland Indians. 31-year-old right-hander Dan Otero on a relief for the 18th time this season.
Otero's having a nice season. Ranger fans will possibly remember him. Several years he was with Oakland and did a nice job for them. He's got a severe sinker. He doesn't walk many, and he doesn't give up many home runs. Hasn't given up a home run in 21 innings. Keeps the ball down and makes it sink, and ground ball is the name of the game for him.
This is outside, ball 1 to Profar. Now Gomes stays in to catch the rest of the way. Jimenez done. Profar, this one high in the air, left center. But it is the center fielder Martinez who makes the play. One away. Of course, had some good swings tonight. Just missed that one. And here comes Ian Desmond.
Throughout his career, Otero has only walked about 1.4 batters per 9 innings, so he's got exceptional control.
Not a huge strikeout guy per se, like you say.
No, he's a ground ball guy.
Pitch to contact. Puts it right in there for strike 1 to Desmond. Originally drafted by the Giants and then claimed by the Yankees via the waiver wire. Eventually, same thing by the Oakland A's. He made it up to the big leagues. Comes ahead of Desmond, 0-2. Pitched for a handful of years in Oakland and then got a taste of the National League with the Phillies prior to coming to Cleveland. The 0-2. Well, that didn't miss by much. The ball and 2 strikes to Desmond. Ian's had some really good at bats tonight. Doesn't look like it in the box score. And he strikes out swinging for the 2nd out of the inning.
That's a great pitch. He started it out probably on the inside corner, and watch it move at the end. Goes inside like kind of a left-handed cut fastball. Got the swing and a miss.
So now Fielder. Fielder hitless yesterday in 4 tries, put an end to a 4-game hitting streak for him. Today 0 for 3 with a sacrifice fly. A couple of months of frustration at the plate for him. 1-1. Came in with the average at 194 tonight, just the 3 home runs. But Jeff Bannister likes to point out when he's been in those high leverage spots, he has delivered. RBI opportunities. He's been really efficient at getting runners home. Now, he doesn't have an RBI spot here in the conventional sense. For the most of his career, it's been an RBI spot when he's simply walked to the plate. You know that power is there. The 1-2. We'll live to see another. Easy to recall Shin-Soo Choo last year got off to the slow start but finished with such an incredible 2nd half and what that meant to the Rangers. And can't help but hope, I guess, that maybe that same sort of thing might be in store for Prince Fielder. Rangers tied it with a run in the 9th inning in the 2-2. That's a full count on Fielder. Adrian Beltre's had a good night, waits on deck. Fielder spoils a good pitch. Indians have a hunch that he's going to pull it to the right side, and he does. Ground ball down to first. And Santana will underhand it to Otero, covering inning over. Rangers go quietly in the top of the 10th. Mike Napoli coming up for the Indians. Of work as we go to the bottom of the 10th inning tonight. Rangers and Indians knotted up at 4 apiece. Rangers with a chance to sweep this series. One of those games tonight where just haven't had much going offensively.
Great opportunity for Luke. Boy, he's pitching under some pressure today. Now for his 3rd inning. Giving up a run, but he's throwing the ball well. Fastball in the mid-90s, mixing in his curveball. Having to go through the middle of the lineup right here in the 10th inning.
First pitch to Napoli, and there's that big bender. He's been able to command that for strikes for the most part in these first 2 innings of relief. It's 2-0. Hamels went 7 innings, allowed 3 runs on 6 hits. Struck out 5, and it's been all Luke Jackson since. Allowed a 2-out run in the 8th, posted a scoreless 9th. There's a big swing and a miss.
And Naps had problems when the ball's been above his waist. The ball he hit was down around his knees. But the ones that have been up there, he's been coming up empty.
Couple more strikeouts tonight for Napoli. Has him at 71 already. But he's worked the count to his favor here. 3 balls and a strike. With his 12th homer of the year, back in the 1st inning, a 2-run shot. Jackson just missed on that one. Ball 4, and lead man on in the bottom of the 10th. Santana 1 for 3 with a walk tonight. Mike Napoli, a low average this year, but good power. 9 home runs. He's a very selective hitter. High on base. There isn't anybody in an Indians uniform you don't suspect could be running at any time in this game. Napoli has stolen 2 this year. Terry Francona has had the Indians running. Got away from Jackson just a little bit. 24 years old, 6'2", 210 pounds. Supplemental pick out of high school. Went to Calvary Christian High School in Fort Lauderdale. Well, leaving the count 1-1.
Alex Claudio getting some work in the bullpen. This game continues. He probably will be the next pitch unless the Rangers take the lead. It looks like Jake Diekman is available as the closer today. But if the game stays tied, could see Alex. Now Alex has a game this year where he pitched 4+ innings in a game. Jackson being asked to pitch hopefully 3 innings in this ball game and turn it over. Attaboy.
Got the high strike call 1-2 on Santana. Somewhat of an oddity to this point of the game. We have not seen the Rangers turn a double play. Nobody turns more of them than the Texas Rangers. 2-2 the count. To be sure, this is a spot where Luke Jackson could use one. Napoli with the leadoff walk. Shift on the infield here for Santana. Stays 2-2. Indians have had base runners aplenty tonight. There have been 2 innings in which they were retired in order. Seems like they're threatening every time we look up. They got their 2 runs in the first, added a run in the 5th, and 1 more in the 8th to briefly take that 4-3 lead. The Rangers got a run in the 9th inning to tie it and force these extras. Bouncing ball. And this one will go to second for the lead out. Kofar doing the smart thing.
Yeah, they weren't going to turn a double play on that ball. Fortunately, Hanser didn't touch the ball. He might have kicked away. They got the shift on, so Jurickson is way over. He takes his time and throws a strike to Elvis. No chance for double play. Just make sure you get that lead running. Good job.
And here comes Jeff Bannister. Happy with the work of Luke Jackson, and he will go into that bullpen now with the switch hitter Jose Ramirez due up. Great work tonight by Luke Jackson. Back with a new pitcher in just a moment. And on for the Indians as Alex Claudio's come on in relief, but we want to remind you All-Star voting is underway. Get online, go to TexasRangers.com and vote Beltre. Get him in there. Luke Jackson, 2 1/3 tonight, couple of hits, couple of walks and a strikeout. He is responsible for the runner Carlos Santana at first. There's the left-hander Claudio, 24 years old, on a relief for the 10th time this year. Third pitcher of the night. Santana, in case you're wondering, 3 stolen bases this year in 4 attempts. For that matter, even if you weren't wondering, that is still the fact. Ball 1 to Ramirez. He's had a good night tonight. Jose Ramirez swung the bat well. A couple of doubles his last 2 times up. He's also walked.
Ramirez is a switch hitter. He doesn't have nearly as many at bats right-handed as he does left-handed. Only 37 at bats right-handed.
Check of the runner. Floats off the outside corner, 2-1. And the splits are not even the numbers, whether they're significant or not. There's just not a huge difference, at least this year. He's hit everybody pretty well. When he takes a strike, it's 2-2.
Got that slow changeup in there in the mid-60s. Does a pretty good job of mixing up a mid-80s fastball and a mid-60s changeup.
This one popped up, but no room back there for Bobby Wilson. Claudio last week pitched on Wednesday, off day on Thursday, and then pitched on Friday, so back-to-back games. But just 3 of 18 games since being called up. You can see a wide range there in speeds of his pitches. 2-2. Small lead at first for Santana. They'll keep a little closer with a full count here.
You'd have to think he'd be running here because Ramirez very seldom strikes out. He's probably going to put the ball in play.
Middle of the infield, a double play depth.
He's not going.
There's a bloop out to shortstop.
Lucky for them, he wasn't going.
Wow. How about that? So soft line out to Andrews. 2 away.
Well, after you've seen the changeup at 65 miles an hour several times, that mid-80s fastball looks a lot harder than that. He got it right in on his fist and jammed him, the little blooper. Obviously, if Santana was running on that pitch, it would have been an easy double play. You run most times to avoid the double play. That time they didn't run to avoid the double play. That's not the reason for not running, I don't think, but it turned out that way.
Michael Martinez came in to pinch run for Juan Uribe in the 8th inning and then stayed in the game in center. His first at bat tonight. And a breaking ball in there, strike 2.
And the one thing that Alex, I'm sure, really tries to do is the first time he throws that changeup to a hitter, he tries to throw it for a strike because most of the time they're not going to swing at it. And you don't want to waste the effect of it and throw a ball. Back to back.
Got him to chase, and that is strike 3. We will go to the 11th. Man left for the Indians. Heart of the order coming up for the Rangers. Jack Link's beef jerky all season long. Jack Link's beef jerky. Feed your wild side. 11th inning. Rangers and Indians. Great battle here tonight in the series finale. Jeff Bannister talking things over there with Doug Brocail, pitching coach. Well, they've gotten some good relief tonight from Luke Jackson. Now Alex Claudio. Jeff Manship has come on in relief for the Indians in the 11th. It's his 19th relief appearance. Face the heart of the order. Adrian Beltre takes strike 1. And a good day at the plate for Adrian. Extending his hitting streak once again tonight. It's his last 2 times up. Walked in his second at bat today. He's hitting 7 straight. One and 2 the count. That one not even close. Manship, 31-year-old right-hander, makes his offseason home in Austin. Born in San Antonio. Good-sized guy, 6'2", 205 pounds. He's a good story, if for no other reason than he was originally a 50th round draft pick. It was back in 2003. He's been around a little bit. Minnesota Twins for a long while. As this one lifted high in the air center field. Right there for it. Martinez, one away. Now Nomar Mazara. That's 5 in a row retired. Well, I guess actually we'll take that back. 6 in a row. Set down by Indians relief pitching. Mazara has been held hitless so far in tonight's game. Breaking ball for a strike, 1-1.
And Nomar has a way of kind of going around his business a little quietly, and then all of a sudden launching a 450-foot home run.
This one hit hard into left field, base hit. So Mazara is on. Go-ahead run aboard in the 11th inning for the Rangers.
And back in the 6th inning, with a couple of men on base, he hit a ball like that, line drive right at the left fielder. Pitch where he's obviously hitting the ball where it's pitched, a ball tailing away, down and away, and he shot that one by Lindor. One before with a couple of men on was hit right straight at the left fielder.
He's on, and Hanser Alberto takes ball 1. He pinch ran in the 9th inning after Moreland drew a walk and scored the eventual tying run. First at bat for him tonight. There's only one player left on the bench right now for Jeff Bannister. Can't really entertain the idea of using Brian Holiday, given that he's the backup catcher at the moment for Bobby Wilson. Hands are 2 for his last 13. I'm not in love with that call. 1-2 the count. There you go. And though it looks like there's a handful of available pitchers, that's in theory mostly.
Yeah, several of them are emergency only, if that.
Bush and Dyson would be the last 2 that Bannister would go to. Tony Barnett, I would really like to avoid using tonight. 2-2. And there are 2 away.
Well, he got him to chase a pitch that was about 8 inches outside and bounced in front of home plate.
That was a tough AB right there for Hanser. Here's Elvis. Got to hit in the 9th inning. He has always loved hitting here, put up ridiculous numbers in this ballpark in his career. Better than a 400 lifetime batting average here at Progressive Field. Mazara with a very modest lead at first. This ball hit to the hole on the left side and through, base hit. Mazara has to stop at second, but Andrus with his second hit of the night. Rangers building in this 11th inning.
Looked like Elvis was going to have a bad night tonight. Struck out a couple of times, popped up to right field. Since then, he's had 2 base hits. 6 for 13 in the series. Continues to hit the ball hard in this ballpark.
Terry Francona out there to take the baseball away from Jeff Manship. So that's it for Manship. Francona with a potential go-ahead run in scoring position. Needs a new pitcher. We'll tell you about him when we come back. I hope they're just maybe editing some pictures. Texting one another. There we go. Tom Corzolani into the 11th. A couple of men on. His numbers at AAA Columbus. Longtime Pittsburgh Pirate. Starter for many years with the Pirates, and now working in relief here tonight. 6'2", 210 pounds, and in at a pretty big spot for the Indians. Rangers have Mazzara at second, Andrews at first. A couple of hits in this 11th inning. And Jared Hoying stands in, lefty on lefty. Did that one get him?
I think he swung at it though. Yep. Second time today that a batter has swung at a ball. I don't know if he fouled it off or not. It definitely hit something though. Let's take a look. Hit him in the arm, it looked like. Geared up to swing, but got a pitch way inside.
Pops this one up.
A pretty good pitch, good swing, just got underneath it.
Santana will squeeze it, inning over. So Corzolani on 2 pitches gets his man, bottom of the 11th, coming up. Here's what happened in the bottom of the 8th inning. Juan Uribe with that base hit to center field with 2 out. Got Ramirez to the plate, gave the Indians the 1-run lead. But then, top of the 9th inning, with only 1 out, Hoying with this bouncer avoided the double play and allowed Alberto pinch running from third to score. Tied it at 4, and he's been matching 0 since. Bottom of the 11th inning. 8, 9, and 1 hitters coming up for the Indians as Alex Claudio stays in the game. Retired the 2 men he faced in the last of the 10th inning. This one spun off the end of the bat, foul by Chisenhall for strike 1. Rangers won the first 2 games of this series. A chance to sweep it here tonight. And this one, fair ball down the third baseline and into the corner. Chisenhall will have to stop at second.
Well, it looked like he took a shot at that on the first one and kind of sliced the ground ball foul. The time he sliced the line drive and it stayed fair.
Couldn't tell if that was the ball boy down there or if the fan got involved. What happened exactly? No fan. Well, doesn't he have to leave?
Oh, it got to him.
Chisenhall. That leadoff double. And here's Yan Gomes. Gomes struck out in the 9th inning. Bunts one, but foul.
Yeah, that's a situation you don't really need to bunt for a base hit right there. That's a sacrifice bunt. Gomes more like he was trying to drag bunt down the third base line for a base hit. But in this situation, the ultimate goal is to get him to third base.
Well, bouncer this time up the middle and through into center field. A base hit. Chisenhall wave. The throw coming to the plate. No chance. Cleveland Indians with a walk-off winner in the bottom of the 11th inning. Of all people, Yan Gomes, for whom it has been such a struggle these first couple months of the season. Tough one for Alex Claudio and the Rangers. They lose the finale 5-4 in extra innings, though they do win the series 2-1. Second time in Gomes' career that he has delivered in a spot like that. RBI single for Gomes and a game winner. 5-4 Indians with the victory in the finale. We'll be back in a moment.